We have literally so much freaking disc golf to talk about. I have a lot of videos planned, but for now, let's just talk about how FPO ended and the implications about it all, because there are so many different things that happened that I still cannot believe. Let's get into it. And I'm gonna try to make this as succinct as possible because I'm literally on an island, aka the Koh Samui Island, the literal island of the course that Terry just bought. I just played that course, it was awesome. Only relevant information here is that I want to go to bed, so I'm gonna try to edit this pretty fast, so it may not be the best, but I'm gonna try to do everything very fast and succinct. So first up, Paige Pierce. Obviously we know she's battling a lot of struggles with her injury, but this is her first foray back into the disc golf world, and while she did finish over par, she did finish in the top 10, but what I find the most surprising is that her current rating is almost 970. It is actually 971, which feels so bizarre because she was fighting for 1,000 rated, and now that is really just so far away. So even though her finish was decent for her injury status, I still would love to see her get at least a win or two in the 2024 season, but right now, not really doing that much. The next up, Hailey King. I bet you guys have heard a lot of weird jokes being made, and that is because she did DNF and posted some very cryptic message about how it should be an automatic DQ for a player to pee during a round or something. I still don't really know. She was basically out of contention, and she did not want to injure herself on the turf tee pads. That is just my assertion. I don't have a lot of evidence to back that up other than a couple of comments, but overall super weird to see DNF so early because this is literally the first event of the year, but I'm sure we'll see Hailey coming back strong at least a couple events this year. But with that, onto the top contenders, first one being Henna. And with insanely good drives, an eagle on 15, you would think that she was fighting for the win this entire tournament. And while she was doing pretty good, she just did not string it all together with a couple of bogeys in her final round. And while she had so much insanely good confidence off the tee pad, with every single tee shot looking like she might just park it, her circle 2 putting in particular was a very big weak spot with a 1 out of 13. But really the biggest failure for her was her final round with 4 bogeys and just a lot of tree hits. She was just not able to finish out, but I'm sure we'll see a lot of good stuff from Henna because she is really showing a lot of confidence off the tee pad in particular. And next up, Hansen, and while she did finish in second place, she really was not in the fight all that much after going +4 through 4 in her final round. And while she did bring it back with 7 birdies after that, she was just so far behind, there was no way she was going to make a true run for the win. But very much like Henna, her drives were looking very, very good, and I definitely think this course lines up very well for a bomber, so I'm very much not surprised by the fact that Ella did perform so well at this course. And I am also very excited to see her circle 2 putt has not gone anywhere, with her getting some very good circle 2 putts. But really, it was always just a battle between the top 3, Missy, Holland, and Eveliina. Now, starting the round, Eveliina was back 2 strokes, and if you are a hater of Eveliina, you will probably say, yeah, no shot she wins this, especially because there's so much stress that comes into this final round in particular, and especially the first event of the entire year. But the exact opposite happened, with Missy and Holland losing 3 or more strokes in the first 4 holes of the final round. Now, Missy was looking phenomenal in the middle portion of the final round, and I honestly thought, yeah, Missy's probably gonna win this. She is just too good to really falter in this kind of situation, and I also thought that Holland was gonna make a really good run for it, and despite having a history of falling short in those critical moments in final rounds, I thought Holland might persevere, but you can clearly tell that there is still a lot of battles that Holland has to deal with, and that confidence was just not there, with her number one issue being that lack of focus on her upshots and circle 2 putts. So despite being very capable of winning, she also falters, so it is basically a 2-horse race between Missy and Eveliina. And this may be a pretty bold assertion, but I think Missy is getting to that point where she might be similar to peak Paul and Kristen, where any given tournament, she may not play her best disc golf, but she is still capable of winning the event. Now, I'm not going to say that is every event, but that is certainly becoming a bit of a trend that at least I see, especially after watching her at Worlds last year. But after a couple of tree hits, couple of missed putts, she was just kind of out of it. And with that, there was basically no other person than Eveliina to take it down, and that is exactly what she did, winning her first true Elite Series event. I know Waco, but sorry Eveliina and Colton, I just don't count 2020 Waco as a true win, so I believe this is Eveliina's first true win of an Elite Series, and I cannot be more excited. I've been waiting for this moment for so freaking long. I know Eveliina is the GOAT if she has all the components pieced together, and especially in a bomber course like this is where she truly shines. Her upshot on 18 was a work of magic. I am so stoked. and you can definitely tell that she had to fight a lot of nerves. There was a good bit of calmness from her, but through this entire round, there was just a little bit of uncertainty, but you just knew if she could just throw those drives with clarity in her mind, she would win this event. And what is crazy is that her strokes gained putting was 1.77. I do not recall the last event that she was in contention with a positive strokes gained putting. The fact that this current reality exists is amazing, and I am honestly shocked. She finished the final round with a 10.31 rated finish with 10 birdies. There was nobody that was going to take this down. Sure, Missy had a good run of it, but if you are facing somebody that feels as good as peak Kristen, you are not going to win this event. And I'm not going to say that she would have beat Kristen, but man, it would have been very, very close. And what's crazy is that she started 2 strokes behind and finished 5 strokes ahead. So there was a 7-stroke swing from start to finish. Absolutely insane. And let's not be crazy and say her putting is phenomenal. She did not make a single circle 2 putt. That is okay. She still wins in phenomenal fashion. And in her winning interview, she literally said, "I felt calm the entire round." And that is the key. If you can just convince yourself that you will win, that you can do this, then that really is enough to rely on your true skill set and not have to worry about any BS that happens during putting. And to go along with that, I think this truly is the pivotal moment in her career where she can start forgetting about all these nerves that have been built up so much in her career. She knows it, everyone else knows it, but now she can say, whatever, I win, doesn't matter. And sure, her putting woes are not going to just go away, but this is truly the start of something special, because peak Eveliina versus peak Kristen would be a phenomenal battle, and I am sure that we get that someday soon. But going for something very exciting, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Natalie Ryan. And after the first round, she was leading by 1 stroke with a 6 under. And while her subsequent rounds were less than ideal, this certainly brings up the notion of transgender athletes participating in disc golf. And whether you like it or not, this is the current policy that the PDGA and the DGPT are following, and the gist of the logic as to why she is currently playing is that litigation was just far too much last year, and they cannot reasonably afford to deal with all these lawsuits. So I believe the current policy is following what was mandated last year for A tiers as far as testosterone levels and what is specifically required for a transgender athlete. So with that said, this is certainly not the last event where Natalie Ryan will be playing. This is an inevitability for at least the 2024 season, unless something radical happens like a boycott, which I highly doubt will happen, are really not making enough in this disc golf career to just walk away willy-nilly. So I really don't think a boycott will happen. And while the disc golf world will certainly not like this, I think she is going to be playing every event for this entire duration of the year. So with that said, what do you guys think about this finish? Are you as excited as me to see Eveliina totally crush? I'm just over the moon because she is one of the most selfless people I've ever seen, and she truly seems like such a kind-hearted person, and I'm very excited to see her win this event and hopefully many more to come. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Wild Runs, signing out. Peace.